Hey guys, welcome back to Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley.
I am Connor Cockens, talking Discovery again. Yeah.
We are, yes. And today we're going to take you to school because this is Red Angel Theory 101.
Updated.
Have a seat. Yes, have a seat. And we'll wax all poetic on who the Red Angel might be.
Well, I'm sitting down, so I'm ready.
I have a theory or two.
I guessed as your suggestion of video.
Right? So it's been established that Spock was visited by this angel when he was young, and then it again drew him to a desolate, remote planet where he got a chance to mind meld with it. Sensed a few things, sensed extreme loneliness, desperation, and
Humanity.
yeah, it's definitely human. They do refer to it as a she, so it's a female as well.
Well, it's worth saying that the Red Angel had an energy field, a quantum time field, so he didn't actually touch the head. It was still over the suit and through a field, so it was partial, which presumably is also part of the plan. Any temporal dealings you can't, because obviously if you did really mind meld with the time travel, you'd see all the future. He saw what he, she, they had to show him.
Allowed him to see.
Yeah, just to sort of quantify that from the episode.
Yeah, so, and I find it very interesting because the whole thing about the loneliness and everything, I have the distinct feeling that this is how it's going to be played. It is going to be Michael Burnham. And she's so lonely because as a result of something that happens in the future, she is going to have to acquire this suit, go back and change things, fix things, and as a result, she will never have existed in the timeline. Hence why there's such loneliness, because no one that ever loved her or knew her realizes she exists when she's finished with her mission, which she's out of time, so it's already happened, as a way to fix the timeline. Now, the reason Spock doesn't detect it is Burnham is because either that quantum field just not being shown enough, or the simple fact that maybe he does realize it's Burnham and realize this is something that has to happen, so he is reluctant to tell her or doesn't tell her at all. I don't really buy that one specifically, but I think it would be when you touch somebody's mind, chances are, especially if somebody close to you, you're going to realize that. So I'm kind of fielding that question right off the hop. So it's a very, I don't know what would bring this all about, this whole suit creation, having to go back and fix things, and having to remove herself from the timeline. But I think that explains the extreme loneliness and desperation that this character feels that Spock sensed. Because how lonely would you be if you technically never existed, so everyone that you loved or cared about you doesn't even miss you because you were never there, because of your own meddling that you had to do to fix something else. So that's my theory. It's laid out. Now we can discuss. It's a great reaction.
Yeah. Well, there's two initial points, one of which being, so which timeline did she come from? And then second question, then why did she actively save herself as a child and therefore make sure she was known to everybody?
Because she originally died and therefore could not be the Red Angel to go back and fix things. So she needed to save herself so that she could become the Red Angel. This is a temporal issue. Save herself so that she grew up, had all the life events to become the Angel to go back and fix other things, including having to save herself, because if she didn't, she would never have existed as a Red Angel to fix the issues that need to be addressed.
But she couldn't. But timelines need a starting point. They need a first run. If she died the first time, she could never have been the Red Angel. So who saved her the first time to allow her to grow up to become the Red Angel the second time, or the first time?
No one. That's why the universe gets destroyed the first time, because she dies. But it's temporal. You can't explain it because the first time is always...
So you're saying that probably relativity took her out of the timeline when she was a kid. Everyone thought she died. And then they put her in a Red Angel suit, and then she had to become a messenger of her own saviour. So you need somebody to intervene, otherwise she'd just die in the first timeline.
You don't, though, because it's temporal. So even if it doesn't happen in this reality, this timeline,
well,
it
reality
happens
is
in another
different.
one. Well,
Yeah.
I'm just saying... I know you always think of time as that linear thing. One run through has to happen before this can happen to bring you back here. But that's not necessarily the case with timelines. Because this going back here obviously already happened. Whether it's complicated. You can't.
Yeah. So what? She's gonna re-kill herself at the start? Because you said she's lonely.
Well, by the time she fixes everything she needs to fix, she never was born or killed at the Klingon during the Klingon attack or something. She just. I like the idea that she never existed in the timeline, and that's why she feels so lonely, that she has to go back and stop her parents from getting together or something, so that there was none of this cascading effect of her existing.
Okay. Not sure I quite buy it, but
I can tell you don't buy it, but
yeah.
It's a gut feeling that I have, and it's something that I think would be really fantastic if it was done properly.
Yeah. Although I reiterate my thoughts all the time. If it's Burnham, that's an awful, just as a general sense of, that's an awful plot. Because just to have her be the god of again is just awful.
I agree, but I can see it's something that Discovery would do.
Yeah, well, she is the bestest ever of doing everything. Though I think now you mentioned lonely, you stumbled upon a more set up theory, which would be that it's the Discovery from the future, because why else would that short have any meaning? We know the character's going to come back at some point. The I can't remember his Craft.
Craft, yeah.
There you go.
Maybe Craft and him merge into the Red Angel.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, this is the super future. I think it's like 30 seconds, even more of the future than we've ever seen. Federation is no longer a thing. Time tech has been existent for hundreds of years, and the Discovery is now sentient. It's been lonely for a while. Didn't know how lonely it was until it met Craft. Craft did other things. He's either going to find his home there or not. So I can imagine that give it another 100 years, because it now wants a body, it's enjoyed being corporeal. It creates an AI physical construct, and then it's like, well, it goes out into the wider universe and sees the Federation has been destroyed which would link to why it doesn't exist in the 21st century, because these time things have gone back and destroyed the Federation in a possible future. So it's like, well, in my memory banks, that's absurd. I'm a Federation starship. I need to save people. I haven't been updated for 1,000 years. Well, this time tech exists. I haven't got morals on a computer, and I found love, and my family, his family almost died. Well, my family was my crew, and then it uses technology it knows exists, builds a suit, puts its AI construct, because how can you survive time tech without a real shielding system? Is an AI construct body. It goes back, fixes multiple things. The Burnham thing is the odd one out, but that could be a effect of that creates the pattern, even to the point that it could have set up what if you go back one more step? Red Angel caused the attack on her planet. That it came to a Klingon and said, you must now attack the planet. That then caused her to be an orphan, and then it to then save her, which is then a catalyst for Spock to need her, to then bond, and all these dominoes. So if you go back, because we know the Angel's been affecting things, other races and other things, that kind of does devalue a little bit of being the computer, because that's a lot of, what gives it the right to change time. And again, relativity guys should be like, Captain, yes, a robot from our future is actually going back and changing all of history. Okay, set a time course, we'll blow it up. Yes, sir! Instantly, and Daniel's like, Daniels, Archer, someone's gone to the future, and a robot's going from the future and is changing time. And Archer's like, oh, god damn it, Daniels. Just deal with it yourself. So, I mean, anything time, you ask why aren't the 31st or the 29th century guys stopping it? Mm-hmm. But I think...
different reality, different dimension.
Well, there you go, which leads into a different whole theory which we'll talk about later on this week. So I think that'd be more my theory, because otherwise that short is so removed, and then you could have the Craft character back as like a hologram, so the actor gets to be back but not actually the character, because the character's long in the future. What do you think about my theory?
Your theory is fantastic, actually. I really like that. I think that's more plausible as to what will happen, because it does link in with Calypso, and I do love that fact that the ship has been abandoned for 1,000 years and nobody comes back. because their planets all got destroyed by these
Yeah.
by the visions that Spock saw.
Yeah.
So that actually works out beautifully, and I think that yours is more plausible than mine.
It was your theory weeks ago, but when you said lonely, that's a distinct... You can imagine the computer getting more lonely after having known affection and losing it. And if you double down saying whatever this race is from the future, they're the ones that are fighting the war against Calypso's people. Well, I think they did say explicitly 2 human races. Because you've got to remember, they had filmed the shorts as they were filming the show.
Yeah.
So it's not as if they were filmed months before, released months before. They were filmed during, with, at least 2 of them are tied directly. Would make sense.
The one problem with that theory, though, and it's a very minor problem, is the fact that it is called out that the Red Angel is just a human. So it would need a human body to inhabit, or project humanity because of its AI has got to a consciousness level that when Spock reads it, he thinks it's a human being.
I mean, or you could easily just say that the AI knew... I mean, again, we're talking super future with AI that's been evolving. Why couldn't it just create an organic humanoid body? Because it thinks, well, if I become a human body, then I can get with Craft. So it creates a human physical entity body. I mean, if you think about it, it's had scans when Culber was humanized. I mean, you know what I mean? Or just cloning genetics. I mean, Sung could change, embryos. And, it's certainly not in the realm. This is sci-fi. If you can replicate stuff already, she could have been designing it for 200 years and then finally worked out a way of making herself into a physical body and transferring her AI. So I think you could probably do that, and that'd be kind of sweet. It's like I'm trying to save the future for my Craft, by changing the like maybe the whole point of it, which would be such a random thing, is I'm doing everything I've done is to make sure Craft's wife doesn't die because I want him to be happy. How gentle a plot twist would that be?
Yeah.
All on a short.
How funny is it that the guy's name's Craft, and what's another word for a ship? A craft. So it's a craft and a craft getting together.
Well, I mean, him in the suit would have been great. That would have been a nice tie-in. Him from the future, he's lost everything. He comes back to his planet, everything's destroyed, but he goes back to Discovery and they work out a plan, and that would have been a lovely little...
It might still be a thing. It might still be a thing.
Yeah.
That actually, that theory, I did mention it a week or so ago, but I just...
Well, a couple of weeks. You said
the AI Discovery, yeah.
There was never a link because we didn't even know it was a suit until 2 weeks ago. So now it's sort of...
Yeah. And last night I got on this kick about Michael dying and then how loneliness and never existing. Yeah. I thought that would be a fantastic way to do it, if they could do it right. But anyway.
Yeah, it's more confusing for sure.
Yeah, I think yours or that theory makes a lot more sense and is more practical, and it's probably going to be the way that we go to tie in with the short Calypso.
And also, the problem with Michael is that if they do anything except have her still exist, then they're, again, because I'm sure they don't think she's a bad character. How would that be if all the writers think, oh god, I hate writing for this woman? Like they can't think that. So just because the fans, slightly more percentage, 51%, 60%, whatever, are less keen with her, if they suddenly say, well, she's always going to,
But would explain that massive issue that they had initially going into the situation where never once has she been mentioned, but then again, Cybok, right? So... Yeah, I mean...
They have to double down and just... the thing about Burnham is, after Discovery, she'll never be mentioned again in any of the shows, and that's fine. She had her time, she was not important, she was never a famous captain,
She never existed.
She never existed. But there you go, 2 alternate theories about the Red Angel. Didn't even have mine until you said lonely, so I completely forgot I was in the dialogue. We've learned a lot, and not a lot. But this is the central plan of this season, so by golly, it better be a good payoff, because it's just constant build.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah. So guys, put your theories down below. Which one did you think was the better of the two?
Or your own. I mean,
Well, yes, obviously. We love reading that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
if you want to help with the channel, you can do so. You can support us on Patreon, which is a monthly donation service, or you can head over to trekyards.com, click the donate button. That puts the money directly into our PayPal, which is really convenient. There's also PayPal information down below if you just want to click that information. We also have our Teespring store. You can buy some really cool Trekyards merch and help us out that way. Or, of course, join us for our lives. We do live discussions, breakdowns, reviews, a few a week. And we love seeing you guys there. It's fun to interact with you guys. We have a great community. Generates a lot of conversation. Generates new theories like this. And you can help by super chatting if you want. But I guess the easiest way to help and share is just to share.
I was going to say, that's the free way. Just, if you enjoy content, enjoy what we do here every week, analysing, discussing, theorising, and just being you guys as online friends, then do share any of our content. And go back, if there's a ship you like, search Trekyards on that ship, you'll probably find it. And like all the paid ways as well. If you feel like you want to support us, because we can only keep going if you guys support us in your views and your help with money. So thank you so much. Until next analysis, next thought, I am Commander Coggins.
I'm Captain Foley.
I'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.